Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Underworld, Rise of the Lycans. It's a movie starring Michael Sheen, not Kate Beckinsale, Bill Nighy, and some other people. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. This is the third movie in the series, so link to my reviews of the first two, but there's the same amount of furry in this one as the first two, Vampires and Werewolves, or Lycans. And with this one, you don't necessarily have to have watched the first two, but I think it works better if you do, even though it's a prequel. So moving on to the good and the bad. So again, this is a prequel, and it tells the story of how Lucian came to be a Lycan and the leader of the Lycans, and how, like, what happened with his daughter Sonia, like what happened with Bill Nighy's daughter Sonia, and that whole romance, and how the war really got underway. What I will say is that the timeline is very, very confusing because of the flashbacks in the first one when Scott Speedman got bit by the werewolf, Michael Sheen's character, Lucian, and got to see visions of the burning of Sonia. And then in the second one, when we established that Celine's dad did, spoiler for the first two, that Celine's dad made the prison to hold William the werewolf. And then in this one, we are like, okay, so, because they made a big deal about the necklace in the first two, and then in this one, she already has it. So maybe there's a graphics out there somewhere that makes the timelines make sense, but to me, things are whack. But if you just go with it, if you just you're just like, okay, it's sort of like, either make sense of it yourself, because 20 years this, and started the war that, and blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'm just dumb and missed something. But the other thing is, they retconned the origin story of Ghost Rider in Ghost Rider 2 that both had Nicolas Cage. And who cares? They were both fun. So with this one, just go with the changes that, the first two didn't have necessarily this third one in mind when they made the first two. So, yeah. But this one, it's set in the medieval time frame, so there's swords, and they got a couple little extra vampire gizmos, but not electricity type of things. So the technology level matches, and the story of their love and how that develops. Once again, just want to point out Michael Sheen, very ripped in this one. Not like Buff Arnold ripped, but like Edward Norton level of ripped, if you know what I mean. And it's still so weird to think of him in Good Omens, when he's a portly, delicate fellow. So yeah, it's still funny to me. But he's a badass in this one, and I love his outfits, and I love whoever they chose to play Sonia, because I remember the first time I watched this, and I was like, is that Kate Beckinsale? Did they just do a little makeup on Kate Beckinsale? That's Kate Beckinsale, right? Is that Kate Beckinsale like double? Does Kate Beckinsale have a sister? Is that Sonia Beckinsale? That is Kate Beckinsale, right? And it's not. It's not fucking Kate Beckinsale. It's not. It is in no way Kate Beckinsale. I don't know her off the top of my head from anything else, but it's not. But I can see why Victor would decide to convert Kate Beckinsale's lead character into a vampire after seeing her, after killing his daughter Sonia, which, again, if you've seen the first two, you know that he kills his daughter Sonia. So, yeah. So if you haven't seen the first two, sorry for spoiling that. Because she just looks so much like her. I don't know how they found or what they did, but no one will ever be as badass as Kate Beckinsale, but damn does this girl come close. So excellent job of being badass. That being said, the CGI in this one is a bit overused, and yeah, they use it at night, so it's not as noticeable, but it's just not as good as the practical effects that they use in the first two. I think that it doesn't hold up as well. They can do some more interesting things with the CGI characters, but I just don't think it holds up as well. And the other thing is that the fighting is, especially the hand-to-hand, the sword combat with Lucian and with Bill Nighy and everything else, that combat is just so choppily edited. The camera isn't quite getting hit Bourne Supremacy style, but you're getting just as little information of what the hell is going on, because there are so many cuts and close-up cuts and back, but just the camera is too close and it's blocked by things, and then it's just 15 different angles for just one, like, too much. I get that they're trying to give it more energy, but John Wick, and I know John Wick came out after this, but John Wick proved that long cuts with badass fighting are much more interesting and cool than choppy. And I really think that Bourne Identity also proved this, and I think that might have been out before this one. So the fighting is just not quite as good in this one. And also, I miss guns. I like the gun play in the first two, and obviously this is before guns with this one. So, yeah. Still fun, though. Still a good time. Still fun to see the origins, and I still like that black dude's voice, which, if I remember the special features correctly, like, he's either a producer or a writer, that one of the casting-type people heard his voice and saw him and was just like, you want to be in this movie for the first one? Like, just because of his physique and his, like, that's his natural fucking voice. And I like that he got to be in that one and in this one, in an even more prominent role, even though he's not, like, by trade an actor. Like, he does, it's either producing, I think it might be writing, but it's cool that he had these two badass on-screen performances. I haven't looked at the rest of his career since then, but I don't remember seeing him in much or anything, so maybe he went back to just his writing role, but it's cool to see that because he does a good job in this, and I love his very recognizable voice. So, yeah, overall, definitely 2 thumbs up to watch this one, but if you have to skip one, you can skip this one, only because it's the origin story of characters who are mostly dead by the end of the second one. So, you know, whereas the 1, 2, 4, and 5 all involve, like, the same, like, Celine character, so you need to watch those in order. But this one, you technically can skip, but I think it's good enough to watch it. But if you're just gung-ho, die-hard on the gunfire aspect, then you might be a little bit disappointed. But I think if you can get over the lack of gunfire, this is otherwise a very good Lycan versus vampire origin story werewolf thing. And Bill Nye, come on! Always a win for that guy. Okay, 2 thumbs up. Watch it. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.